small hours of the morning.
Not to be too forward, but you don't seem terribly happy being idle. My work had eaten up quite a bit of my free time, so when that obligation vanished, I just felt kinda lost. I'm glad my little brother got me out of the house at least. He sounds like an equally interesting person, in a different way, I suppose. He's a character, but I love him. We went on for a bit longer, chatting about this or that until my coffee was gone, and we turned our attention to the pile of notes Seth had brought. I've got an idea. You're right in that I spend a little too much time on my own head. Maybe what I need is some structure. Sounds good. What did you have in mind then? Yeah, tell me. Express your thoughts to me. I'm here for you. So talk to me, nigga. Since I can't seem to settle on something, why don't you tell me what I should write? Really? With all you talk of muses and inspiration? I think of it as an exercise. You'll give me a framework to build from when I write the story. It'll give me a focus and keep me from wandering. Alright, I suppose that makes some sense. Why me, though? Because then we will both have some investment in the final piece. That will make it all the more likely you'll keep humoring me. Fair enough. Where should we start? At the beginning, what kind of genre should I write? I don't know about you, but I think this guy's perfect for romance. He has the potential for romance. Romance. What about a romance novel? I know they can be cheesy, but maybe something with a little drama and action thrown in. Romance? I mean, I'm not really... I suppose I can give it a shot. Okay. How do you see the main character? Is there some defining feature you like? Huh. Deeply flawed. I like complex, multi-faceted characters. People who mess up but have to keep going. Something about the structure to just keep really to just keep the beans go in the pot and the pot melts the beans. I can't read. I can't read. I'm legally blind. My favorite kind. Nothing like being able to explore shortcomings through that lens. Having someone from whom there are only gray options. No black or white. I'm getting some great ideas here. I told you that you'd make an excellent muse. Glad I can help. That said, I've got a question for you this time. Oh, suddenly the interviewer becomes the interviewee. My, how the tables have turned. What a fucking nerd. It's quite the plot twist. Anyway, I was wondering, what do you plan on doing with the story after you're done? I hadn't really considered it. It's probably something I shouldn't even worry about until it's written. I think you should keep it in mind. Ponder it. I also think that you should keep those notebooks away. Let this story build itself. You'll be less inclined to overwhelm yourself. Fair enough. But I reserve the right to call you in the instant it's done. I'll need your eyes on it as soon as it's out of the printer. It's a deal. Looking at the clock, I noticed we'd already spent quite a while chatting back and forth. Despite not having a set schedule of my own, I figured Seth may have had other places to go. Well, it's afternoon already, and I don't want to keep you, if you're busy. I should get to it. The fresher the ideas are in my head, the more likely I'll be able to actually keep with it. He smiled up at me for a moment before we both began clearing the table, standing up and tucking in our chairs. David, thanks again for this. It's the most motivated I've been in quite a while, and it was good to spend time with you. Same here. You're a very interesting person to be around, Seth. It's a nice change of pace. What? I didn't mean it like that. I don't want to be too forward. I certainly wouldn't be here if there was nothing more. I see, thanks. I'm really glad we got a chance to sit down and talk more, even if it did bogart most of the conversation. Oh, I almost forgot. I got this for you. I know how you liked that author, and I thought it would be a nice gift. When I handed him the novel, his eyes went wide. A smile spread across his face in an instant, and he looked back up at me, beaming. You got me a signed copy? I didn't even realize he was doing signings. David, this is the best thing I've ever gotten. Before I could react, he leapt up against me, wrapping his arms around me and pressing his lips into mine. We both began to blush after the moment of exhilaration began to fade. He quickly pulled away and glanced down towards the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean... Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, yes! Jerry, yeah! Stopping so soon. I stepped forward and pressed my lips gently against his, giving his cheek a soft stroke before pulling away. A barely audible purr rumbled up from his chest before he turned his head to cough and regained his composure. I'll have to remember to not let you go so soon next time. Well, I need to get going. Got to keep the story fresh. We said our goodbyes, parting after a final lingering hug. As I watched him leave, I felt a sense of happiness I hadn't experienced in the past few weeks. Writing was a very important thing to him, and in the span of a cup of coffee and a scone, he'd wanted me to be part of that. My, what a sweet date that was. That was the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life. I wish something like that would happen in real life. This game is great. I love it. Wow. That was a really sweet date. That was a really sweet scene right there. I hadn't been that important of a person to anyone but Kobe recently. Work had kept me busy, but without that, I'd begun to realize that I wanted something more. Maybe this could be that something. Either way, I need to be ready with some juicy gossip when I got home, or Kobe would never stop pestering me. Let me save. Which one was it? Here we go. Save game. Save. Game save! Alright, so I was stupid last time and I didn't realize that I had a fucking phone. And I could call Seth. So, wait. Come on. I could go two ways here. I could go for Kobe, or I could go for Seth. But I'm doing Seth's story right now. That's what I'm doing. So let's call Seth. I knew that focusing on his writing was going to eat up Seth's time, but this was getting absurd. It seemed like wait, slow down. No phone calls, no texts, nothing. It was enough to make me question if I hadn't been just confused about the signals I read. I thought we had a connection. He was certainly interested in me, but this undermined the whole idea. Why else would he just leave me hanging? Maybe he really did just want some temporary company. Damn, that bitch is cold. Kobe was there for me. We even went to the club a couple of nights to see if Seth had shown back up there. Sadly, there was no sign of him. Eventually, I'd given up and just slumped on the couch and lost myself in daytime television. I feel you, David. I feel you. I wasn't normally like this, but putting myself out there only to wind up with nothing. It was a hard thing to just bounce back from. I knew I'd eventually have to pick myself back up for now. It felt comfortable just to wallow. Kobe was in the shower, and I had just finished watching the 5th rerun in a row when there was a knock at the door. My instinct was to ignore it. I couldn't think of anyone who might be stopping by. A second knock eventually got me off the couch and stumbling towards the door. I half expected it to be some local group doing fundraising. At this point I was feeling low enough that wolfing down a box of cookies sounded like a good idea. Oh! Look at who it is! I was definitely not expecting that. David, I'm so glad it was the right house. Seth? What the heck are you doing here? How did you know where I lived? Why didn't you call? Well, the not calling was due my being what? The not calling was due to me being a scatterbrain. When we parted ways, my head was buzzing with a million ideas. I had to get them out before they drove me crazy. And one of those ideas involved losing my number? Indirectly, yes. I tossed my pants in the wash before I went to bed, like I normally do. I'd forgotten your number was in the pocket, so I started the machine in the morning, and by the time I realized my mistake, all that remained was a soggy lump of paper. This bitch is clumsy. Okay, but why didn't you stop by the club or anything? I checked a couple of times and didn't see you. I was cloistered in my apartment, subsisting on delivery food and coffee. In retrospect, it could have been something strange out of a novel I read. It was intense. It just kept pouring out of me. I never thought I was like that. What came out of you? And you still haven't explained how you found my address. I mean, I'm a little upset you didn't call, but not about this. I think it's just weird. That? Oh, that I could write a whole story about. It was me. I found them for you.
Kobe.
What? Kobe, thanks again. You're a lifesaver. Last night, I overheard him at the bar asking about you. You'd mentioned a cute feline you'd been seeing. You called me cute. Anyway, I mentioned you were my brother. Step-brother, bitch, you ain't even my real brother. Like, I could kill you right now and it wouldn't matter. We go to talking for a bit, and I told him how down in the dumps you were lately. I felt terrible about that. I mean, I was a little flattered that you were my cheeks began to flush red as I stammered out a defense. I wasn't pinning. I was just sad, since I hadn't heard from you in so long. I told him that he should drop by today and catch back up with you, maybe get you off the couch for a while. And here I am, groveling on bended knee. I cannot tell you how amazed that first time together was. I wouldn't want you to think I'd just leave it at that. I'm still mad at you, but shit, look at that face, like, fuck. First time doing what, huh? Both me and Seth blushed profusely as Kobe began to laugh. You two are way too easy to embarrass. I think I'm going to like the idea of Seth and you, bro. Kobe, how about you go make some coffee for all of us? Seth and I need to talk. Alright. I know when I'm no longer needed. This bitch. You were right about him. He is quite the character. He's my brother. We have always been there for each other. He does get a little nosy about my personal life sometimes, however. It's good to have someone who cares about you. You still haven't told me what kept you locked up by yourself for so long. It wasn't something bad, was it? Bad? Not in the least. Without another word, he turned away and began digging through his book bag. A moment later, he handed me a pile of papers, all neatly collated and held together with a binder clip. My arms almost sagged at the weight. There it is, all thanks to you and your brilliant inspirational techniques. What is all this? I'm still not getting it. It's the story we talked about. I sat down and wrote it, beginning to end.